Welcome back to the Red Web. This is our new season. Starting today, we're going to be talking about body image in superhero comic books and superhero media. First off, I'd like to introduce all my fantastic guests. Some of these faces are familiar. You've seen them before. Of course, Miss Anastasia, who's my cosplay girlfriend at Joann's. And if you come by Friday night to Joann's at South Park Meadow, we're going to be doing a cosplay open house. We're going to talk about some classes that you can sign up for in time for Halloween. So make sure you check us at that. That's Joann's at South Park Meadows from 6 to close.
Yes.
And then my husband, Bo, who is here, he's going to be helping us out with the Casa Superhero 5K this coming Sunday. Make sure you check that out. You can go to casatravis.org or casasuperherorun.com and learn all about that. An amazing cause. It helps the Casa of Travis community and foster care system. And we are 10th year there. It's an amazing event. You'll be seeing lots of superheroes, events, kids runs, activities. It's great. Then, of course, we've got my co-host and partner in crime fighting, Mr. Greg Burrow, the Batman to my Robin, representing Dragons Are Comic and Fantasy. You can always pop by and see him. If you have any questions or suggestions for the show or want to tell us how we're doing, maybe correct us if we mess up or whatever, you can give him an earful or go to our website and check us out there. And then the lovely Miss Angela, who is one of my very endearing cosplay moms, and she's going to be joining us with the Casa Superhero Run on Sunday as well. So check us all out. That's going to be a super fun thing. And today we're going to be talking about superhero body image. Now, before I get any further, I'm going to let you know that this is a very big issue that we've been talking about for a while getting onto the show. We waited until we were back to our hour format, which, by the way, will be an hour format from now on. And we wanted to make sure we had enough time to talk to you about it in depth and really get some interesting information and maybe provoke some thoughts and ideas to the audience out there. However, it is a really big issue, and we were having a hard time narrowing down how we were going to tackle this. So we thought about some different ideas. One of them was the ever-present internet slang of the male gaze versus the female gaze. We thought about the creator intent versus the audience perception. We thought about what the artist wants to see, what the artist wants to be, what your fantasy fulfillment is. We had all kinds of ideas. We could focus on the negative, like body dysmorphic disorder, unrealistic expectations, both males and females across the board, how it's changed, how it hasn't changed, where it has room to change. But we decided instead to go with something to start off with. We're going to try and see if we can focus on positive body image. Now, we all came to the consensus of the best way to do that was to talk about personal experiences. And since we're all part of a cosplay community or two or three or more than we care to mention, I'm seeing therapy for it right now. We're going to talk about...
Joann's is not therapy.
Joann's is not therapy. We're happy to be your fixer. We will give you all you want. Come and see us. I will hook you up. I'm the cosplay expert. So, first taste is free. So, anyway, we're going to talk about cosplay and how that has helped us all, and as we perceive the community to really advance the ideas of positive body image and the diversity of body types. So I think this also has a lot to do with the explosion of diversity in comics to begin with, which is kind of what we're all about here at the Red Web. So we're going to start. Who wants to go first? Who's got an interesting story, an interesting point for us to start on? I know, Angela, you were talking about as a mom with daughters and you're raising in the superhero world.
Yeah. I've got two young daughters at home, and one of the things that really that cosplay has really affected for me is having to do with body image, like being of not exactly superhero shape, not super skinny, but cosplay has given me more confidence in getting out there and doing that, and also in just wanting to be an example for my daughters and for other people that you don't have to have a perfect body. Like cosplay, I've seen a meme like how to have a cosplay body. Put your body in a costume. Like it's about what you're comfortable with. It's about having fun. It's about like one time I was Elsa for a winter thing, and it didn't matter that I was, like, they just saw the hair, the braid, and saw Elsa and like would run and give me a hug, and it didn't matter to them that I wasn't.
I
feel like
yeah, that was the Delta.
Yeah, I feel like one of the great things about doing this, because God knows I don't have a 6-pack abs, more like a keg. I'm not in
Mini keg.
I'm not. Careful. I'm not in the peak superhero condition, and as much as I would love to be, I don't know that I ever will be. I want to be, but that's beside the point.
It's called real life.
Yes, exactly.
Job.
But it's not just the confidence that it instills in ourselves. It's the confidence that with the volunteer work that we all do, with the children and everything, it's the confidence that the children kind of get from seeing someone that's comfortable with who they are, that's willing to get out there and dress up as Thor, dress up as Batman, and Mary Marvel, and who have you. And no, none of us are,
Well, a couple of things I think that are really important to note here is that a lot of times when we think of, especially what we do is with children, when you think of the children, and there are cosplayers or people out there who place these limitations on what costumers and such can be, they're limiting their ideas to what adults think. They're not really thinking what kids think. I mean, when kids see you, they see Thor. And that's all there is to it. They don't think that, and anybody who says otherwise, that's their limitations that they're imposing upon things. So that's one of the amazing things about working with children is that their view of norms are different, and we actually have the power to influence those.
Well, and not to be horribly inappropriate, but let's face it, with some of the conventions we've done, it's not just the kids that when they see me see Thor, the moms go, "Ooh, Thor."
No,
Let's get a picture.
This is true.
My daughter wanted a picture with you, and you got the daughters going.
You also have the benefit of soaking in some of my excessive confidence. I'm like Rumor Wilson in that movie. It's
He's
like,
so modest.
You want some of my confidence? I'll spare it. That's how and I honestly believe that confidence is a huge accessory. I mean, it's like I always say, like, I'm not super skinny. I'm not like, and I still like, because I'm short and hyper, I always do these like kid characters and sidekicks, but I pull it off because I know how to carry myself. Like, I know, and it doesn't hurt that I have, a little bit more than the average experience with my craft, so I know how to cater my own body to my own shape, so I know how to work with what I've got. But that's also a big aspect of it, is knowing your body and yourself and knowing how to really accentuate what you've got. One of the things that we talk about a lot when we do cosplay panels, and I do how-tos and stuff at conventions, is learning how to be the best you that you can be. Don't worry about being the best them that you can be. And that's a huge distinction to make. And you see a lot of people going, "Oh, you're body type X. You can't be character X." Well, yes and no. Your body type X, don't try to be body type Y in character Z. Do character Z, but learn how to accentuate that to what works with you. Use your best accents. Color. This is a big one that I throw out there a lot when I'm doing stuff. Color is just color, but it's still a color. Yeah, okay, this character wears a blue dress. Don't wear, if you've got the skin tone that looks bad with a pale blue, then wear a slightly darker blue or wear a slightly more aqua. You're still blue. I guarantee you wear the shade of blue that looks better with your skin tone, you're going to get a lot more compliments than if you get it like dead on accurate to what it is in the video game /anime /comic book. I promise you. And that's a big thing, is it's a really good creative exercise to learn more about yourself and learn where your own beauty lies. So I think that, to me, that's another amazing aspect of the craft, personally.
Well, I think that a lot of it really comes down to what you personally feel comfortable with and what floats your boat. Because for me, accuracy is everything. So for me, I want to be as 100% accurate as I can. Like when I'm doing Adam West Batman, it's pretty accurate. And I have grown men come up to me crying and hugging me because I'm Adam West Batman for them.
But when I do Burt Ward Robin, I'm not dyeing my hair black. You know,
But you look good.
I'm the redheaded Robin, and you know, and I'm
it looks
pretty
good.
accurate with the costume.
But you know what?
You know.
Even being redheaded Robin, you still get tons of attention for doing the '66 Robin.
Yeah.
You know, and especially from our generation or older, that grew up with those shows, and it's a piece of our childhood that someone's not forgetting, because you see so many Robins. We'll skip Batman for a second. I'll get back to you, I promise. But so many Robins. You've got Arkham City Robin. You've got the Red Robin. You've got all these gritty, dark Robins, and then you've got Robin 66. And you see our generation going, "Oh my God, there's someone who's doing my Robin."
Right.
But that's the same thing that Greg gets with his Batman. It's our generation or older going, "Oh my God, someone's doing my Batman."
I have kids running up to me going, "Batman," and hugging me.
Yeah.
Aww.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you know, that's one of the things with our volunteer stuff. We had a Batman several years ago. God bless him. I love him and his wife. They're fantastic people. We did National Night Out Against Crime one day, and it was on a football field. We come walking onto the field. You hear this kid at the other end of the field screaming
Aww.
Batman at the top of his lungs.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it was
He
absolutely
was straight
adorable.
up anime running.
Yeah. And he gets about, whatever, yard line away from our Batman and comes to a dead
Dead
stop.
stop. He's like,
And Mom keeps trying to push him, going, "You wanted to get a picture." And the kid's going, because our Batman, while he did a fantastic job, he's a great person. He was doing the gritty Batman. And while kids love that, kids are afraid of that.
yeah.
you know.
And so when we go out and you do the 66 Batman, the kids aren't afraid of that Batman because he's not dark. He's not gritty. He's not likely to reach out and pop you for no reason whatsoever other than you smile.
Yeah. Or-
You know,
Or
Batman
taking up
doesn't
the-
eat nachos.
Right, Batman does not eat nachos. No, I mean that's one of the reasons. Like when I started doing Robin, I was like, Robin, no kids like Robin. And I kind of actually was resigned to the idea of like, I'm the sidekick. I'm gonna stand back here, let Batman do his thing. You know, I'll just I'll give Batman his water or whatever. I'll hold
Well, that's
Batman's
another thing
purse.
about the
Batwater.
66 Batman is that Robin was always in the
I know
forefront.
Robin was like always in the forefront, and it actually got to really funny because it was like I got to the point where I started realizing it's like kids actually sometimes like Robin better because even though they love Batman, they want to be Batman. So the number of Batman caused kids, like little kids dressed as Batman, I would have coming up to me. They were so excited. Like I got caught in this like the restroom. I was adjusting my mask one time, and there was this dad, and the cutest little. I mean, this kid was just like this little chubby kid, and he was so adorable. And his dad was trying to get him in his Batman costume, and the whole time his dad was zipping him up. His dad's like, Robin, you're gonna marry Starfire. I know because I saw it on the show, and he's telling me all this stuff about me, and he's like, why I'm so, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Thank you for letting me know because I wasn't sure she liked me and everything. Oh, yeah, she likes you too. And it was just like, this little kid was just so excited I was Robin in there with him, So, yeah, that's a lot of the cool things about that's fun. But again, like I said, Burt Ward in that show, I mean, he was like, I'm not skinny like that. I'm not going to be skinny like that. And, I mean, I'm trying to keep, in shape for my health purposes, but, that's not going to happen.
Well, and kids put stuff into perspective so much. Cause
They really
don't,
do.
Because, I mean, it's like, I go out and cosplay and I'm like, okay, is my rolls covered up? Is my hair right? And they don't care. It's like, it's like, and it's so much fun to work with kids because it helps you recapture the joy of just like, this is what I'm doing it for because I love it and because kids love it. And especially with body image, it's like, it puts it into perspective because now you're going, oh God, I can't put this on a kid.
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh, they're noticing me like pulling my shirt down, or they're noticing that I'm like, oh, I'm worried about this, because if they notice me wearing it,
Then they'll worry about it.
Yeah.
it's like, and it's, I mean, when I was a kid and I started cosplaying, it was more for me, and now it's, oh, this is for them. This is for these kids to grow up and be able to spread that joy to other kids without all of our preconceptions we've grown into.
Yeah, and I've kind of I feel like over time that body confidence has kind of grown in me. When I first started with Heroes of Texas, I had Spider Woman, which was like it was pants and a shirt, and
Right.
I originally made it as a maternity costume because
Well,
you.
because she was pregnant in the comics, and like and I wanted to do a maternity photo shoot, and
Aw.
so like, but I've started with like kind of 2-piece costumes and costumes that like cover me a little more and are more comfortable, and then. When I got Rogue, I think was kind of a big jump for me because that was when I went to like, you know,
The single piece.
the single piece spandex, and
It's one of the reasons I enjoy my Thor so much. Because capes are more than just a fun accessory. Capes need to be brought back. They really do. I love a good cape. But the capes, the champion style belt that Thor wears, they're good for concealment. It helps me feel less self-conscious about myself. So yeah, it's I can definitely understand that.
yeah, and then you have people like the cosplay dad, or like who's just like, I'm gonna own this. I'm gonna, my big beer belly, and like,
Oh.
I'm just gonna do the thing. And, and that like, it's. Like I was talking about wanting to set an example, like people like that, he set an example for me in a way that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Because he's the cosplay dad. He has, a beer belly. Like, he has the dad bod. Like,
Well, it's kind of like you were talking about Jonathan Villa.
Yeah.
owns it.
Jonathan Villa, for those of you who out there who don't know who Jonathan Villa is, he was, for the longest time, he was known as the San Antonio Aquaman. So he was a very lighthearted, very easygoing guy from the couple of times I met him and that I got to interact with him. He was not tall. He was not blonde. He was not in superhero shape that people want to tell you. He was on the shorter side. And, well, Vela, it's in the name. He was Hispanic, and he was on the heavy side. But you know what? He owned that Aquaman. And if you talk about the San Antonio Aquaman, people know who you are talking about, who are in the community. And that's what it was. And that was one of his big panels that he did for years, was being comfortable in your own body, in your cosplay. You don't have to be a supermodel to be Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. If you want to do Wonder Woman, embrace it. Do it. Have fun with it. And that's what made him so good.
And there's a friend of mine, Robin. He's a bodybuilder, and he looks amazing. And he's come to events as Batman. He's come to events as Superman. I don't care. He's a great guy, really great with kids, and kids love him. He does All Might. He does a lot of characters that are, typically white, but that's fine, because he's better shaped than most white guys I've ever seen. I mean,
he just does an amazing. His Prince Adam is just amazing.
Oh yeah,
I love this Prince Adam.
amazing.
I just it's one of my favorites.
I mean, he's amazing, and I love having him at events. And whatever event he's at, he elevates just by being there.
Yeah,
because he is such a wonderful person.
Speaking of the Casa Run, he comes and does the Casa Run with us, and there's there are kids at the Casa Run who literally just hang out and wait for him to show up because they're used to seeing him every year.
Yep.
So he's loved out there too. So yeah, and so this is a kind of a good thing for promote. Now, can't really talk this, and we really want to focus on the positive, but there are some negative sides, and there are people out there who like to knock people down and stuff like that, and you're not going to be able to get away with that. However, sometimes if you take those as opportunities to really just realize what the positives are, you know what they say, without darkness there can be no light, so that's actually kind of one of the things that got on to us talking about this earlier, is because there are those people who really just have like a meltdown if like you were saying, why is it a cross-race cosplay? There should be no such thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now, and this is a little bit different when we're talking about race-swapping characters like we did on previous episodes, where there's an importance to providing more options for characters, because, you have a lot of cosplayers who cross-race, quote-unquote, cosplay, because their options are kind of limited, people. I mean, you can't really fault them for thinking outside the box. I mean,
Well, not only
you can't
that-
just have like 20 Black Panthers at one con, okay?
Well, not only that, I mean, why can't they be the characters that they want to be? If they enjoy Spider-Man, why can't they be Spider-Man?
Yeah.
If they
Right.
enjoy All Might, why can't they be All Might?
Absolutely.
It's showing that they support this character, they love this character, and they.
Well, that
you
was
know,
that was
that's-
one of my
that's what it's
arguments
all
when we were
about.
talking
That's
about
cosplay.
that's one of my arguments when we were talking about the race swap in the comics. It's like, as important to me as Miles Morales is as a character, I don't want that to take away from the fact that if a Black fan likes Peter Parker, then screw yeah,
cosplay Peter
like
Parker.
Peter Parker.
Right. It's
you
like-
don't
Do it.
you don't
Have
have to
fun.
like the Black Spider-Man because you're Black people, you know. And I don't like the thought that Black Spider-Man is only for Black people. I mean, as many. You know, I was going to do.
Well, that's also
I was
something I
going to
wanna
do
say is-
Miles Morales for one of our things, and Robin's like, "Tch, do it, man." He's like, "I'm Superman.
Yeah.
You could be Miles. Go for it." And I'm like, "Well, thank you, Robin. I really appreciate that. You know, but out of respect, I'm just not that tiny. But it's not a Black thing. It's just I'm not that small. You know.
Well, also, I mean, one of the things that I get upset about also is that I this is kind of going off topic, but I really hate how Black characters aren't being celebrated for being themselves. Like Robbie Robertson on the Spider-Man. He is an amazing character, and he was there from the 60s, you know, and he is a character that really needs to be brought up and elevated and really celebrated in the Spider-Man mythos. But so far in Homecoming and Far From Home, he hasn't been there.
And so that's part of a
Yeah.
larger thing, and we're talking
Yeah,
about
but
body image today.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we were talking about when we were setting up for today, I'm trying to decide exactly how we wanted to tackle this topic. And one of the things that we were considering is the sexualization and objectification of the female form versus the male form, and how they're not really on par, even though there are aspects where they do kind of cross over. And one of the main parts that really I was trying to pinpoint, okay, what's the difference between objectification and idolization? And the main definition is that objectification is when their body is their defining trait, as opposed to reflective of other defining traits. For instance, the male form is represented as this idolization, and while yes, it is sexy or even sexualized to some degree, it's really mostly there to represent bravery or power or other traits, and the sexualization is kind of secondary, even though, you know, the body is unrealistically proportioned, etc., etc. Whereas for the majority of the time, the female form, when it is done in this over exaggerated form, it's not as a representation of, you know, motherly attributes or bravery or anything else. It's straight up sexualization for itself, you know, and that becomes the worth of that character is placed upon that particular part of the image. And so when that translates over to other things, like when they originally started introducing, like Bo had said earlier, I like that, you know, and we're not talking about diversity in comics. Diversity's always been there. We're talking about acknowledgement of the diversity.
Diversity in the audience.
In the audience.
My comment was diversity in the audience, because we were talking about it, and you're like, and now that there's more diversity, no, the diversity's always been there. We have not always been heard.
Exactly.
Because talking about the body image, talking about the sexualization. Yes, Wonder Woman was running around in a bikini. You had Power Girl with the... It's called a keyhole, people. It's not a boob window.
Not a boob window. Learn your fashion
learn your
terminology
terms.
if you're going to talk about it.
But
It's a
yes,
boob window.
It's a boob
right,
window.
I know. But you know, they're running around like that, and I'll be honest, yeah, it didn't really impact me that way.
But the point
now,
is-
Namor running around in a speedo.
But the point
I
is,
objectified the hell out of
but the
that.
point is,
Sorry.
even with minority Black characters, gay characters, they weren't there as secondary attributes. That was their attribute. You know, it's like I love in when they bring Static Shock over into the main DC universe, and he meets Black Lightning and of course everybody assumes that he's related to Black Lightning because of the similar power set. So like, no, I'm not Black Lightning's son. But Black Lightning explains him, and Static is like, why Black Lightning? And, you know, Black Lightning has to tell him, well, because back then, there were so few of us, you had to make sure that they knew, you know, that we were there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's a modern eye on an old trope of, no, back then, there were so few of them, they were being exploited, and it's like, look at our black character. You have to know he's a black character, so we call him Black Blank, you know? And so it's kind of like a give and take. And we move, we evolve. Hopefully, we do better. We try, some of us, you know.
You're
But,
making me want to say things that I can't say. You're making me want to say things I can't say.
but when
We
it
didn't
comes,
know Black Manta was black until
well, that's true.
Right,
Now,
That's true. No, that's true.
That's true. In fact, they even tried calling him something else in the Justice League series. They called him Devil Ray. Just to get away from that trope.
Oh,
which
that's
is
kind of cool, though.
Yeah, on the Justice League series, they called him Devil Ray to get away from that trope. I love it. If you pay attention to the Aquaman movie, the actor that plays his dad, they call him Devil Ray because he's actually the guy who did the voice of Devil Ray in the animated series.
Oh,
So-
I didn't know
that's
that.
Yeah,
That is cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what they call it. Anyway, that's your Aquaman trivia for the day. Moving on to body image, though, you know, we had talked about leading up to this. We talked about the idea that, you know, body dysmorphic image is a syndrome is a lot more prevalent in males from comic books. You know, just like girls growing up in the 90s reading fashion magazines, where like, you know, it's like
Well,
they're obviously
and one of the
airbrushed,
things that-
and they might as well have been drawn.
Right. One of the things we've talked about before the show yesterday and through various conversations, you know, we were talking about body image. Hugh Jackman came up, you know, because on the men's fitness magazine, they've got him shirtless, buff, all jacked, and they're showing him off and everything. And then on the women's magazine, and weren't those in the same month even?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
that was
so.
like that was the
They,
whole point.
they've
is
got
they
him
came
in the
out same
cardigan
month.
sweater with the blazer, and they're making him look all sensitive and, you know, attractive to women. And it's like, why can't we go, yes, fitness image, you know, have them in the same outfit, but, you know, whatever. Why do we have to be hitting people over the head? And that's my big thing. Is it's whether it's Hugh Jackman or
Margot Robbie.
yeah. You know, you get them in one setting and, you know, on... Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, like cosplay, like we're talking about cosplay. I love the classic original Harley Quinn costume. I don't
Yes.
see it enough. I think
Yes.
I think it
My
is
favorite.
just sexy enough without being overly sexual. I think it's classy. It gets the Harlequin
Without
point
being a
across.
shirt-walker.
You know how many? Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Do you know that I have met at least 3? I'm gonna say this and make myself feel old. Kids who honestly don't understand the pun behind Harley Quinn.
I mean,
They literally don't even know what a Harlequin
know.
is.
I'm not surprised.
They literally don't even
Yeah.
know what a Harlequin is. They only know Harley Quinn, and they don't even know what that means.
Yeah. No, sadly, I
And
know
you know
exactly
why?
what
It's
you're talking
because she doesn't look anything like a
I'm gonna
Harlequin
have to
anymore.
say it. I'm gonna have to say it. September 24th, it's coming out. Harleen by Stefan Sejic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a deep character study.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Ooh.
lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes back into her childhood.
Yes.
In her time at
We
Arkham.
yes,
It's
we
gonna be
plugged
great.
it on the last 3 shows, guys.
It's
No,
gonna be
I
amazing.
I just character
They're all
studies
online.
are coming back.
They're all
Yeah.
online.
It's like I'm so happy character studies are coming back.
But yeah.
I'm so excited.
But yeah, no, that is one of the other big problems. You really don't get enough of the classic, fun cosplays that they still can show a level of confidence without showing 3/4 of your ass cheek.
And
Well,
that's
Butt cheek, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, and
I mean,
that's, I
I
mean,
don't know if
that's,
that was much better.
it's like when we were talking about like men's versus women stuff when we were talking about girls' toys. It's a matter of who is this for, and at least in the case of Harley Quinn, there was a big progression where she was just, this is the Joker's sidekick, this is his girlfriend, this is his like this is basically his toy. And now
Yeah, I was
that
about to say, I
they're...
don't know girlfriend's the right word.
I notice I didn't say girlfriend.
No, you did. That's why I'm going, you know.
But now they're having a resurgence with her where she's becoming her own person apart from him and growing away from him. And so I've noticed...
That's been coming forever.
Yes.
I mean,
It's
even
like-
the original animated series where she was first created, she broke away from the Joker and was with Poison Ivy for several episodes that were just amazing. They're some of my favorites.
Yes,
great.
I love the interactions between Ivy and Harley.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like...
sorry, I still love when the creeper fell in love with her. That's like my favorite, the whole Pepe Le Pew exchange.
Right?
She's
It's like...
who are you?
And even
What?
then, especially with the women's lib stuff and trying to decide like what do I dress for me, or am I dressing for this person? Like, of course the styles are gonna start changing, and once Birds of Prey come out, I can feel like the styles are gonna start changing again because
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like-
my thing is, and I, this may or may not, depending on your opinion, veer off of the body image issue. My thing is with the current way they dress Harley Quinn is she doesn't have to look like. I'm just going to say she doesn't have to look like a streetwalker to be sexy. And when you get those
Nobody
cosplays,
does.
exactly.
She does.
But when you get those cosplays of the girls who love Harley Quinn, who can do a fantastic Harley Quinn, even though y'all were making fun of me for using this phrase earlier, even though they're not an hourglass figure with the sands in all the right places. See, I got it on TV for you. You know, they do a fantastic job, and they're not that hourglass figure. They're still normal figured, full figured, whatever. But they still don't feel like they have to. I'm not sure what word I want to use, especially because it's before like 10 p.m.
And as a cosplayer who doesn't fit the superhero body type, I'm always looking, like, when I see a costume and I see a character that I love and I'm like, oh, I love that character, I want to dress like that character, how can I change that costume because I'm not gonna wear that?
right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
Well, that's what I was saying
And you're always,
earlier.
like, making
You don't have
adjustments
to
and
make
making,
it. You don't have to. I mean, yes, there's something to be said for accuracy, and I know when we did, we actually used to do this like really fun panel. I would love to be able to do it again. It's one of my favorite ones. We used to do model off of the VH1 top 40 fashion don'ts. We did a top 40 cosplay don'ts. And it was amazing, and it's been done very tongue in cheek and very catty and very, very fun. But one of my main points that we always make is in cosplay, especially since we're talking about how this applies to body image, be honest with yourself. That's the first thing you have to do when you're doing cosplay. Be honest with yourself and be honest with why you're doing the cosplay. If you're honest with why you're doing it, and you stick to that and you're true to that, you're going to have an amazing, successful cosplay. And everybody has their own reasons, and no one reason is right or wrong, but don't pretend you're doing it for one reason when you're really doing it for another reason, because not only will you not make other people like it, which it's not really the point, but you yourself will not like it. And if you're doing it because you are a super duper awesome fan of this character and you want accuracy all the way, and you could, like, you know, shape, size, color be damned, well then, by golly, do it and stick to it, and if somebody else goes, oh, you're not really this right for that person, you're like, you literally need to be able to go, whatever, man. But if you let them hurt you, if you let it get to you, then you're not doing it for that reason, okay? If you're doing it because you want attention, if you want everybody to take pictures of you and post you all over social media, and then want everybody to come up to you and stop you in the middle of the aisles and go, oh my God, you're so awesomely perfect, then, you know,
Own
maybe
it and figure out how to make it
figure out
happen.
how to make that happen. But they don't always necessarily happen the same, and you can't get mad if it doesn't. It's just, let's be honest with it. You know, if you're doing it because you just want to feel good about yourself and you just feel fun in this thing, well, then feel fun in this thing. If you're wanting it to win a contest, then, you know, go for that. But don't just half-ass put your heart into it because you're like, I'm going to this con and I just want to have fun. And then enter a contest and get mad when people don't let you, No, it's not the same thing when you've got other people who spent like the past, 6 months putting their heart and soul into
I have
it.
actually never participated. I have actually never participated in a costume contest where I was a contestant.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not what it is for me. For me,
Yeah,
it's
no.
But
charity
that's
and
the thing.
community service.
But that's
that-
the thing.
yeah,
You
that's not
know
what we
why you're
wanna
doing
do.
it. You
One
know
of the
why you're
funnest
doing
times I ever had cosplaying, I was actually in a Stormtrooper 501st here. And I worked an entire shift at Dragon's Lair in my Stormtrooper outfit. And that was so
Yeah.
hilarious. Excuse me, have you seen these droids? I had little pamphlets I had made up that the 501st had that we could print out that were R2 and 3PO wanted posters, all in Arabesh, and so I'd go up and give them to just
Random people.
random people coming through the store.
You probably gave one to us one time when we didn't before. I know we got a few when we first moved here. We got a few of those.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But
oh,
that's the
good
point. Like whether you're all about like accuracy or whether you completely change it, like it's about
It's about you.
It's about having fun
Exactly.
and figuring out how to feel
Yeah.
comfortable in your own skin, no matter what your body type. Like one of my favorite cosplays that I see pop up online is the Mexican grandma Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Like
love that.
where she's got, it's like it's a
It's the
Mexican
moo-moo.
grandma style outfit, but in the colors of Wonder Woman, and she's got the
Instead of the lasso, she's got the
sandal,
the
chancla.
sandal.
Chancla.
The chancla.
Oh my
I
god.
love that, and it's
That is
totally
pretty
a way that
It is.
like someone can completely make the character and make the costume their own.
Well,
Like
we-
still absolutely loving that character and paying tribute to that character, but in your
Absolutely.
own new
we,
way.
we have friends
Like-
that they do Harley, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy, but they do
geriatric.
geriatric Harley,
my God.
Poison, and Ivy.
Yes, it's the
Or Ivy
geriatric
and
Gotham.
Catwoman, yeah.
It's the geriatric
It
Gotham
is
Sirens.
hilarious watching them because the woman who does Catwoman, she has a walker, she has a basket with a cat in it with yarn in it.
No. She's got the basket with the yarn and the cat. She's dragging the cat along on the leash. And she's got the
awesome.
oxygen tank and the cigarette. That's my favorite. Is the oxygen tank. And the cigarettes.
Oh my God.
Harley's in a house coat with the little ball things on the top of the hood.
Yeah.
And I love it. Every
Poison
time they
Ivy's
do it,
knitting
it's just
with the
hilarious.
vines. She's adorable. They're all
Yeah,
they're so
every
funny.
time
And
they do it, it's
have
just
a blast
hilarious. They have
every
fun.
time. Yeah.
And that's the thing, And but by no means are these ladies geriatrics.
No.
But
No.
they go all out when they do it because they're doing it to have fun. And that's really, to me, that's really the point of cosplay. Enjoy yourself. Boost your own confidence. Boost the confidence around you. Watch the people light up when they see their favorite characters. And just
that's my
look at the
thing.
joy.
My favorite thing to cosplay are like super obscure characters. I will do characters that like, if one person at a convention goes, "Oh my God, you did X." My job is done, and I am happy for the rest. I don't care if nobody knows who I am, because like literally, I will get like, "Who the hell are you supposed to be?" Like so
I
many
actually like
times.
cosplaying background characters. One of my dream costumes to build is one of the unenlisted Star Trek from the original series. The Dr. Spock. But the thing is, you need other Star Trek people around to sell it.
Right,
To sell
to
it, yeah.
get it.
Kind of like
get it.
you give other characters, you bring them out to the fore.
Yeah, I don't think
by being
anybody.
a background character.
I don't think anybody at Doctor Who 50th anniversary would have known who I was if I was not with Bo in his Captain Jack. Because I love James Marsters. He's like one of my favorite, and
Aw.
I want.
And we did Captain Jack and Captain John.
We did Captain Jack and Captain John, and I made the Captain John the French Revolution coat and sewed all the buttons on and everything. And like we get there, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, there's like both of you!" It was amazing. It was really funny. I had this one guy.
Yes, I got lucky. We hadn't actually seen the season with him in it yet, so I didn't get hit when I took full advantage of it.
Yeah. He decided he was gonna give me a full on like dip kiss, and I'm like, if I'd have known, I would have punched him. It's okay. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not a PDA
he probably
guy.
would have
I'm not
it
a
with
PDA
anyone to
guy.
come back.
But yeah, it's one of my favorite things is what I call the human accessory.
Yeah.
Oh, the human accessory is like the best thing for a
Yeah,
cosplay.
there's this one Luthor cosplayer.
This one guy at Dragon
and
Con
the
in our
reason
group-
I think his Lex Luthor is so on point is because
He's-
not only is he doing Luthor, he's got a Mercy Graves who's carrying a briefcase
No.
that has kryptonite in
And
it.
she's got the bodyguard outfit with the black mini skirt, and she's got the briefcase, and you open it up, and it's got like kryptonite in it with the lights
Oh
up
my
and everything. And
God.
she's,
Yeah.
I love
But
it.
she's what sells.
she doesn't
his
say
Luthor
anything.
costume.
She doesn't do anything. She just like very staunchly follows him around, and it's actually quite hilarious. It's
That's
like,
awesome.
It's one of
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, there's another cosplay group I belong to that's the Gotham City Police Department. And they've got the entire SWAT crew with, they've got a Commissioner Gordon, they've got a female detective, and I actually do the street officer. And we've had so much fun with that group. I mean, especially like we did Comic Palooza one year when they were doing the Gotham actors came in, and we were actually spread throughout the
Yeah.
auditorium as security for that. And that was so much fun. And we actually were security because the actor who plays Bullock, he's from Houston, so he knew some people. He was like, hey, so after the panel was over, he jumped down off stage to go talk to his friends, and he got immediately surrounded. So we had to break in there, and we had to, like, surround him and, like, escort him out of there as the police officer. So it was really fun, and it was a lot of awesome. It was really awesome.
Well, there was the year, again, at Comic Palooza, we did the Green Lantern Corps. We didn't just do, while yes, I did Kyle, and we did have a Hal, we didn't just do those. We had,
We had 12 total.
there were 12 total. I can't even remember which all of them there were. But
Kyle, Hal, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Sodom Yacht, Boudica. We had
Kilowog?
No,
Oh,
we did not have the
you
Kilowog.
posers.
We had
Right.
We had
But no, it was great because that was the year the Green Lantern movie came out. Yes, I know. But they also had the guy who played John Stewart in the Green Lantern movie, who unfortunately did not actually end up in the Green Lantern movie. He was there, and he loved it. He got so excited seeing an entire corps of Green Lanterns there.
It
and
wasn't
not
just him, it
a
was the
single.
rest of the Air Force. We had two of the other Air Force
Yeah,
colonels
two of the
there.
other Air Force people were there. And yeah, they got a huge kick out of having an entire group of lanterns.
Which means I need to finish my Hal.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
What
I do need to apparently slim down back for a little bit for my Kyle.
yeah, he just...
Or you can go
So-
and reinforce the seams.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So you were talking earlier about what you call a cosplay body, but then you turned and said you don't have a superhero body. I disagree. I think in the same vein, a superhero body, especially now, and this is topical, now that we're getting more diversity in comics and more representation and more diversity in creators, body types in comics are changing too, and there are more characters who represent a wider range of what it is to be a superhero. And it's like you may not have a
1980s.
you might not have an
1980s.
80s
Well,
Jim chiseled
I mean-
Jim Lee.
steroid body.
Yeah,
That's
by-
not the same as not having a superhero body.
Like by superhero body, like what I mean is like I don't have a body that matches the character that I'm playing. I don't have,
right.
you don't have
like,
that
I-
particular superhero's body, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's
'Cause,
the
like
same
I
as not
can
having a
do,
superhero body.
I'm working on my Squirrel Girl, trying to get
Amazing.
like which I think is a good example of like kind of the
I love what
up
you did
and
with the
coming
tail.
body diversity, like body shape diversity.
Right.
In comics, Squirrel Girl, there's Faith, there's
Faith
and
is a great
I
one.
Yeah.
I wish
And I highly suggest the Marvel Rising cartoon series. You need to watch it.
yeah.
But
And I wish there were more male body diversity now too.
Yeah.
yeah, that would be actually a good thing to start seeing as well. I know that not necessarily a comic book superhero, but I know the new She-Ra animated series is really good about showing a
I was actually really
range.
impressed.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed that, and yeah, you had a
Glimmer
range
and-
of body types, even kind of the guys, because yes, you still had Bo, who was the just shy of the chiseled hunk and everything, but you had one of the hordemen Kyle, who was a skinny, really kind of pathetic. I mean, no, he was the butt of the jokes, you know, and so, but being that he was one of the bad guys, everyone was okay with that. But, you know, so you still had the diversity, though, but not as much diversity as you had with the female characters, which, of course, granted, there were tons more of the female characters because, you know, She-Ra.
Yeah. Which is fair.
And Glimmer.
In Glimmer.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, where are some other opportunities that we have? What are some good opportunities for people out there who are looking into cosplay, just per se? What are some things that would really be good to help embrace more positive body image?
It's like, or well, I guess a good place to start out with, which is what I've learned and started coming back into my own with cosplay, is finding a good community that's supportive. Like,
Yes.
coming up, I have a friend who's wanting to try some different cosplays, and they're worried that they won't fit. Like, it's like, oh, it's going to be this, and I look like this, but they look like this. I'm being generally vague, so I don't
Yeah. Totally.
Right.
But-
Don't want to call anyone out and, you know, but...
It's like, but they were talking to me, and they were like, if I go, it would make me feel more comfortable if you went with me. And it's like, if we have more stuff like that, where it stops being, because especially, like, since I haven't been part of a community in a really long time, it gets really off-putting to go to these things, and you're it.
Yeah.
It's like...
It is so much more fun doing it with a group of people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of the
Right.
reasons why I love my Heroes of Texas group.
Absolutely. I don't, as much as I love what we do, I don't know that I would be able to do it as much without the support of our own group.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like at each convention we decide, okay, we're going to do X-Men. And so all of us make X-Men costumes, you know, like
Yeah.
Cyclops and, you know,
Archangel.
yeah.
Right.
We're working on the
Yeah.
wings.
It's
Wings,
like
skinny
any...
wings.
And like for Casa, we're doing the Marvel family,
Yes.
Shazam.
Aw.
The Shazam family.
Because they're all foster kids.
It's the Marvel.
Yes.
Aww.
You know, and that works really
I
well
know.
with the Casa mission. So,
But,
It's like-
well, and talking about like making it your own, you know, like you were talking about your friend, like if the costume, if you love a character but the costume shows like, you know, 2/3 of your booty, like.
But
Make it
say
into-
we're doing the 80s G-string
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Why did they ever do that to her?
Like,
You know,
make it
maybe
into boy
you're not
shorts.
comfortable doing that. That's fine. Make it where you are comfortable doing it.
Make it into boy shorts.
and one of the
so
wonderful
you
things
can
about
still
characters
be-
like Wonder Woman, where there are so many
Right, there's a lot of
choices.
costumes
You
to choose
can
from.
do the full-on skirt. You can do like, you know, I mean, there's
Well,
even
talking
full
about the
pants
variety of
versions.
costumes. Talking about the variety of costumes. That one of my favorite story arcs for Kyle is Circle of Fire, because he pairs up with Power Girl at one point, and she's like, "Well, hold on, I've got to go and change clothes because whatever she just did, her suit was dirty," and she changes into a completely different outfit. It wasn't even one of the keyhole bikini type outfits. It was a full
was
body
one of her
cover,
earlier-
one of her earlier suits.
Justice
And
International suits.
They make a comment about that, and she's going, "What? You only have one thing you wear every day?"
And he's
There
like,
are-
well, yeah, mine's made out of light.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't have to wash it. Cheap.
But yeah, you have your characters that have the Wasp.
I know, I was telling Angela
You
about
have
this
your
yesterday.
characters that have so many different versions of costumes. Pick one you're comfortable with. Pick one that you feel speaks more to you, that will allow you to do it.
Or you
And,
can do like
you know,
I started doing in recent years. It's like once they got to the movies and it was just like every comic book artist, just every issue they had a different costume or a different iteration or a different aspect or different interpretation. I'm like, at this point, pick
Make your
and
own.
choose, piecemeal. For crying
Right.
out loud.
Well,
At this point,
there-
it's like
there's
carte
a-
blanche.
there's a
Anything goes
movement-
now. Yeah.
There's a movement that I see on Instagram, and I would imagine for those of you that still have Facebook, if you were to look into it, you would also see it. There is a movement out there for Spider-Man, because you've had the Spider-Verse, you have the new Spider-Verse series, and there's the Spider-Verse cartoon and now, and, you know, so make your own Spider-Man. And I cannot tell you how many variations on Spider-Man just in the last year alone I have seen that they're creative, they're spectacular. Two of my favorites we actually have seen at a con there was a Captain America Spider-Man, complete with Captain America's shield, and there was a Phoenix Spider-Man. You know? Yeah, I loved it. It was a gray suit, still had the webbing, and it had the Phoenix emblem and some of the web coming off of the Phoenix. And it was a great design.
Yeah.
And so there's so many people that, there's so many characters out there that, like Spider-Man with Spider-Verse, there's so many different iterations, and Marvel has basically now said carte blanche to, go ahead, design your own Spider-Man.
Right.
Go ahead.
There's
Design
a couple
your
of
own
things
Thor.
I want to say really quick. First off, I want to say that there is nothing wrong with physical fitness and with, if you really want to be Spider-Man like in the comics, you can do that. Most people can do that. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of stress to be able to get in that kind of shape.
And more
there are
power
people
to
that
you
can
if
do it
that's
and
what
help
you
you.
want to do and can do.
Yeah.
More power to you.
But
Do
don't
reach out to a personal trainer. Do talk to your physician when you do stuff like that, because
But,
you don't want to overboard, and you want to take time when you do it. It takes
Exactly.
It happens
time.
instantly, yeah.
And stuff like that, though, you also have to remember, it's not just about the gym. It's not just about you've got to change your dietary habits. You've got to
Yes.
change. Don't say it. Give up your sodas. Shut up. Give up your sodas is one of the things that will
There are certain
help you
things
lose,
that are
because
just really
you'll cut
hard.
out sugar and like that.
But at the same
But
time, before you
if
get
you're
too
comfortable
preachy
with
on the
who
other end, don't
But
let
at the
that...
same time, if you're comfortable with who you are,
Yeah.
No.
that's okay also.
Being healthy
Yes.
is definitely an admirable goal. Don't,
Absolutely.
Not just for
But
appearance,
don't
but for
put
your
your
health.
don't put your self-worth
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
looking like a
Like,
comic book character, because
I have friends who are like recovering from like body dysmorphia
Yeah.
and eating disorders, and like don't like
That's why I say
want
talk
them
to a physician.
yeah,
able
no,
to
yeah.
have
You know,
fun.
yeah.
So here's the thing.
Like
On-
cosplay is for
I'm
everybody.
not giving up my chocolate. I don't care how much spandex is involved.
He's not. I'll be lucky if we don't stop on the way home.
Yeah.
So
it's
here's the thing.
Chocoholic
Here's the thing. You have
all the way through.
cosplayers on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
I know personally that do fantastic jobs.
Yes.
You have Greg, who does Batman 66. You have Brad,
I'm not
and
them.
not just because he's my husband, but who does a fantastic Robin. And no, neither of them nor myself as Thor are in tip-top shape. But we have fun doing it. Then you have cosplayers like Robin Johnson.
Oh my God.
You have cosplayers,
We bow to you, Robin. We're not making fun of you, I promise.
we have a friend who we drag into
are
cosplay
beautiful.
from time to time. He has been on the show as well, Tyler. That they go to the gym, they work out. Robin is a personal trainer, and they do fantastic things. But again, they cosplay for the fun of it.
Yeah.
They enjoy what they do. Do they have a better body type than me? Yeah, they do. I won't lie.
And I'm going to
But
tell you this right now:
it's
Robin
not
does
the
not
point.
get in shape to cosplay.
No, he does
yeah,
not.
No.
No, that's
It's not
that's his talent.
Yeah.
That's his
He
talent.
just
for his
happens to
person.
cosplay on the side,
Yes.
and he's an amazing
Yeah.
cosplayer. He's actually been a guest at Wizard World cons across the United States.
I'll get him on the show one day. I promise.
And he's amazing.
I'm not gonna stop trying.
Yeah.
But no,
But
no.
you can be on either side of the fence. It's up to you. If you want to be on the side of the fence where, yes, you are in fantastic shape, you have to put in the dedication. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. If you're not willing to make those sacrifices, but you still want to have fun, more power to
There's
you.
always ways to do it. And you can always check us out. You can check out Heroes of Texas on Facebook. It's just facebook.com/Heroes of Texas.
Or you can just go here'satexas.org.
Or Heroes of Texas back through there. And we do periodic meetings at various comic book shops, Tribe Comics and Games and Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasies on both sides of town. So you'll get chances to meet us in either one of there. Or you can come out and see us at conventions or events. We're going to be doing the Casa Superhero 5K this weekend. An amazing organization to be doing that. So check that out. And
Sunday,
you
7 to noon?
Yeah, it's like all day
7 to
Sunday.
noon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's CasaSuperheroRun.com.
And it's an amazing event. You really need to go if you haven't gone before.
But-
Families come dressed out as superheroes. It's really amazing. A lot of fun. And even pets are allowed.
Yeah. So, but in the meantime, we also would like you to make sure that you're liking our show on Kaiju Labs Media on Facebook, and you're following on YouTube. Well, Facebook too. But check us out at Kaiju Labs Media on YouTube and like the show and follow there. And you can also go to Brad's Red Web on Facebook and Instagram and give us some ideas. We'd really like to talk more about body image in comics and touch on some of the harder stuff. If there's ideas that you have out there in the audience or questions that you have or things that you think that we should touch on that we didn't touch on enough or that we touched on and you would like us or that we completely missed altogether, please, that's what we're here to. We're here to talk to you. We're here to talk about the community. We're here to bring people together and show how comic books are an amazing media for everybody. Superheroes for everybody. We're all superheroes, I think, and I think that this is an amazing time to be a superhero fan. It's an amazing time to become a superhero fan, and by all means, there are more than one type of superhero out there, so find your kind of superhero to be and join us. Join
Or
us
anime
anytime.
character.
Or anime.
Anime, video games.
Or mashup.
Yeah, if you're
And
talking about
there's
mashup.
cosplay.
Mashup.
Yeah,
Good
we're
stuff.
superheroes. We're superheroes here. This is a superhero show, so I'm just...
right. We keep threatening to do a Star Wars X-Men mashup.
Oh, yeah.
Pick your fandom.
Yes.
Decide what you want to do.
And have fun with it.
If you don't know how to sew, there are people that can help you. Joanne's.
Ask us questions.
These two right here.
Again, Joanne's on South Park Meadows, South Austin. You can come down on Friday the 13th. From 6 to close, and
That's
we're
great.
gonna be talking about cosplay stuff. I do custom cosplay classes, so if there's something specific you want to learn, let us know. We'll write you a class, and we can do that there too. There's classroom space and experts available for that. And again, we have the volunteer group Heroes of Texas that you can check us out and come
Which
find.
we do cosplay tutorials ourselves. Greg will host those at Dragon's Lair as time permits. So there's always a resource.
And like Anastasia said, one of the best things that we have out there is community and support in each other. So let's lift each other up. Thank you for joining us. And next time, I think we're going to be talking about the Joker, maybe? I don't know. Follow us and we'll catch up with you.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Thanks again for joining us. This is Brad West, and this has been The Red Web.